AEW is making a huge policy change that is going to be absolutely wild to see how it unfolds. Also, in addition to that, a WWE star who has returned to the company recently is now in line for a major push. We're going to talk about that. Plus, Bryan Danielson, he's popped up again. We got to talk about it. And as always, if you guys want more videos like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button. This way you never miss a video in professional wrestling. Every day something new is going down. We're going to keep you guys updated along the way. So, of course, your subscription really, really matters. Bryan Danielson is popping up again. This time, things have really... I swear, I'm convinced that Bryan Danielson is coming back to AEW, which is really exciting for me. I'm just a huge Bryan Danielson fan, obviously. But last night, they did, obviously, the Dynamite and Collision tapings. And nobody really knows if this is going to be part of Collision or, you know, if this is a dark segment. But Bryan Danielson basically came out. He did a little thing with Max Caster and Kyle O'Reilly. He joined Paragon. He walked to the ring. The crowd went crazy. The video is everywhere. I can't post the video because I feel like AEW will probably copyright strike my ass, and that's not a good feeling. But he comes out. Adam Cole hits Max Caster with a super kick. Bryan Danielson hits the label lock on Max Caster, and then he wins the match in just literally 8 seconds. He grabs the mic. He says, "For one night only, I'm joining Paragon." He even jokes and says that his name is Kyle Danielson, which is crazy. Um, but, dude, this is sick. This is sick. This is what I want to see. I want to see Bryan Danielson return. This guy, we've been told, is probably not taking bumps again. Now he's taking bumps. Now he's getting active in the ring. I can't seem to wrap my head around this because Bryan Danielson's one of those guys where, like, we're all pretty convinced that he's retired. Now that doesn't actually appear to be the case, which is freaking awesome. But I will even go as far as saying that I think one of the best parts about this, maybe Bryan Danielson will be utilized at AEW All In. We have this casino gauntlet match that they're going to be doing. Winner gets a championship opportunity. Dude, is there a way that we can have Bryan Danielson in that match? You know, just between last week with Bryan Danielson and Shane Taylor in ROH, and now we got Bryan Danielson and Max Caster. Clearly, this guy could get in the ring again. So 1000% I'm excited about it. I'm not even going to lie about it. I just can't wait to see what happens. I really think we are getting Bryan Danielson part-time. I don't think we'll get him full-time, part-time, but I definitely think that's a possibility, and that makes the most sense, and that makes me really, really excited. And that's going to bring us to our next topic, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about it. WWE, Aleister Black, some really, really good stuff here. I'm so excited about this. I don't want to be overly excited about this because I got to see what WWE does here. But if you guys are a longtime viewer of the channel, you know how much I loved NXT and how much I loved Aleister Black in NXT. So clearly this is one that excites me. According to PWInsiderElite.com, there have been a lot of discussion within WWE Creative and the management about raising Black's profile going forward. He's in line for a significant push. The sources cited in the report that are the same ones who previously indicated that Damian Priest was earmarked for a move to the upper card, a prediction that actually came to fruition. The desire to push Black is reportedly due to the company being happy with both his in-ring work and his merchandise sales since his return. The backstage sentiment is reflected in Black's recent booking. He has been interacting with several main event personalities on SmackDown and has not lost a singles match since his return to the company in May. If the report goes to plan, Aleister Black will be getting pushed. So, very big deal for me as an Aleister Black fan. And I don't know where this whole thing stems from, where people think I've shit on his AEW run. The guy was utilized in AEW. I just don't know why the guy was never given a singles push, a singles title. I don't know why. I mean, you look at Aleister Black in NXT, and he absolutely killed it went to the main roster. Vince McMahon didn't know what the hell to do with him. I thought it was a sure thing, like, oh my God, one of my favorite wrestlers is not being booked well by Vince. He's going to AEW. This is going to be great. It turns out it really wasn't that great. So now he's back in WWE. Obviously, I'm excited to hear that there's conversations and discussions about him being pushed because I just like the guy, man. I think he's very talented. I think he's very, very talented. And this is the kind of stuff that you just want to hear about. Nick Khan said, hey, we're going to sign people. We're not going to bench them. Well, thankfully, they're not doing that with Aleister Black, right? So I'm just excited about this, man. And I really just think Aleister Black being pushed up the card is going to be very fun to watch. Now the question remains, how are they going to go about it? What does this push entail? Does it mean championship gold? I don't know, but it's something to pay attention to. And that brings us to our final topic. Tony Khan, ladies and gentlemen, has a huge policy change, and maybe Aleister Black is actually the reason for this. Who knows? But AEW has made a major change to their policies, and essentially it's come out in a new report. Sean Ross Sapp has said that Tony Khan's promotion, AEW, has become very picky with signing WWE X stars. So one of the things that has is kind of changed is, a talent gets released from WWE, Tony Khan is not just immediately going to sign them. Because what you end up seeing right now is a lot of people have this dream and this vision to go to WWE. They go to WWE, they lose their jobs with WWE, they go to AEW, and they're not necessarily happy about being in AEW. Yes, they're getting a paycheck, but that's not where they actually want to be. So Tony Khan has actually realized this, right? Tony Khan signed Miro, Aleister Black, Andrade. I mean, so many people they've signed from WWE, and just a lot of people ended up not being utilized. And then there's reports that people just didn't want to be there. And, the thing is, I find it very interesting as this report comes out. There was a report the other day about Aleister Black potentially not being happy, in AEW. And that was one thing that often got talked about was Aleister Black wasn't happy in AEW. But now all of a sudden there's reports about him getting pushed into WWE. Like, the thing is, man, you have to sign talent that are passionate about what they do, and they're going to come in and do the work. AEW, thankfully, they signed Tony Storm, they signed Swerve, they signed a couple people that genuinely love being there. That should be your focus, man. That should be your focus. And I always said signing too many people from WWE is not going to help the company, and it didn't. It really, really, really didn't. Um, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Jack Perry, MJF, like those guys were AEW guys. That's where the love and spotlight should be. So I'm actually happy that Tony Khan made this decision. It doesn't mean that they're completely done signing WWE talent, but when you have Cora Jade going on an interview talking about one day I want to be back in WWE, why would you sign her then? You're not getting somebody who's going to be a ride or die for the company, and obviously that's kind of a challenge. So respect to Tony Khan figuring it out, man. Respect him figuring it out. I feel like this is the year where Tony Khan is actually starting to learn from a lot of those mistakes I was complaining about 4 years ago. So it's really nice to see that. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Ango Show.